The equity gap between the poorest and the wealthiest school districts in the state began to shrink after 1990. But that trend started to gradually change. And according to the most recent report from the Kentucky Center for Economic Policy, they say that per pupil gap has reached nearly $4,000.
Well, we've been tracking this since 2017, so we knew the trend was happening. Every year, the gap would grow a little bit bigger. We knew there would be a point at which we would surpass where we were at the point that it was declared unconstitutional.
The executive director for the Kentucky Center for Economic Policy, Jason Bailey, says this is a troubling landmark. He says unless the legislature puts more money back into education, the trend will continue.
Harder to have an equal shot when there's less resources, there's fewer teachers, there's fewer bus drivers, there's fewer after-school programs, the textbooks are out of date, all the things that happen when you don't have money.
In 1989, the Kentucky Supreme Court ruled that their per pupil gap was inequitable. In 1990, they created the Kentucky Education Reform Act. Bailey says it included tax increases that paid for putting more money into schools. Now, he says it's even worse than it was then.
When your property wealth is lower, you can pass the same tax increase as a school district and just raise far less money. So these districts have tried to make up for the state cuts by looking at local taxes, but it just doesn't generate the revenue.
In Berea, Julia Sandor, WKYT.